Go.
Frederick G. Reamer said, according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, in 2010, child protection agencies received nearly 2 million reports of child abuse or neglect. Whether we see it or not, these children and these families that have been abused, neglected, and have trauma are around us every single day. This summer, I got to work alongside social workers, and I got to see how they impacted each and every one of these families and children. I worked with a child that was about 14 years old, and even though he had been severely abused and neglected, he looked forward every single day to seeing that social worker because he knew she would give him a better quality of life. So what is social work? The National Association of Social Work defines social work as helping individuals, families, and groups restore or enhance their capacity for social functioning and work to create societal conditions that support communities in need. They can set up things like counselors, medical help, tutors, and addiction counseling. The mission of social work is to help the well-being of people to function in everyday life. So why does God value social work? Well, he values children and families. In Matthew 19:13-14 it says, Then children were brought to him that he might lay his hands on them and pray. The disciples rebuked the people, and Jesus said, Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for such belong to the kingdom of heaven. In Deuteronomy 5:11, For there will never cease to be in the land. There I command you, you shall open wide your hand to your brother, to the needy, and to the poor in the land. There's always going to be and always will be children and families that are broken in need of help. More applicable to us today, according to the Child Maltreatment 2013, 50 states reported 1,484 fatalities from abuse, just from abuse. In the article, Chronic Child Neglect in Theory and Practice, child neglect is the most common form of maltreatment. Maltreatment is 70% of the referrals. This article also states that 40% of the women in welfare programs are depressed. This depression can cause negative parenting. Negative parenting could be anything from abuse, emotionally or physically, to neglect. The neglect can be not feeding the child, not bathing the child, or not sending the child to school. These things cause the child to not be able to develop correctly. They can cause behavior problems and just all around not good for the child. These things can cause the child to be removed from the home, which social workers are involved in. There's two types of social work. There's clinical social work and administrative social work. Clinical social work solves problems to help people have a better quality of life. The clinical social workers work with child and families in their homes, schools, and in the communities. These people usually have trauma from physical abuse, emotional abuse, addiction, or mental health. Administrative social work uses programs and services to development and deal with policies, work as counselors for mental health and emotional health. These clinical and administrative social workers are both important to social work. Clinical just deals more with the case management, the homes, and the people who have abuse and addiction, and they set up programs for them so that they can have a better quality of life. The administrative part definitely deals with the policies, and they counsel these people through these emotional and mental health issues. So God values each and every one of us, and especially the poor and the children.